Martin from the Philippines. We're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So, very quick disclaimer for this live. This is for mature audiences only because the topic is sex. So, sex advice Q&A. So, this is for people who are mature, who are open, who can handle this. If not, please stop the video right now. Stop watching. This is not for you. Now, if you are open-minded, mature, you are open to talk about the topic of sex, then continue watching the live or the replay of this video. So let's get to it. What I will do is this one was not easy to do. So recently, someone reached out, and this will take a lot, again, deeply personal topic. This will take a lot from that person and from me, right, to overcome my ego. What do I mean by that? Could be fear, it could be what do other people think. It could be my reputation. For some, it can be will my family disown me? When we talk about this topic, so it can be very sensitive for some people. I understand, and it may take a lot just to open up about it, and it's taking a lot for me as well. But I believe that when there is a higher purpose and we do this out of love, out of learning, then it will be worth it. How do we do that? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to share my screen and I'll give you some background and context behind this. So recently, this person reached out and it took a lot for her to do this. So I respect how deeply personal and private this can be. For that, I will keep this person's identity confidential. So I learned over the years how to handle these sensitive topics from hard experience, and others I went through training as well. So how to handle this responsibly. So let's get to it. So what's this topic about sex? So I got this personal message and I'll read through it, I'll walk through it with you, and I'll answer it on the fly as well. Martin, this is super fucking personal, okay? But something came into my mind and thought I'd ask you because maybe you can help me figure shit out. So, yes, this is why I do this. Real Talk Lifeline. When someone reaches out, and as hard as it is to do already in itself, if you are crazy enough to reach out, I'm crazy enough to answer you, to give an answer back. So, next. So, back then, this person told me something about you. And please, 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 I hope this doesn't piss you off because it was a long ass time ago and I just need someone's brain. So it's okay. I mean, that's the past. And personally, how I feel about it, it's okay. I mean, if you just have this open question, then I'll give you an open answer. So here, the next part. She told me that you were that means exaggerated, when it came to the amounts of time you wanted to have sex. She called you a sex addict, but I never really believed her because, come on, we were young back then and our sex drives were off the roof. So I just never believed it. But if that was ever true, well, how'd you deal with it? Did it go away? Did you stop it? Or is it a secret you're taking to your grave? So, just some quick context behind this is this happened back in high school. So, another thing is uh, our sex drives were way higher, the raging hormones. Another thing people may want to understand, what helpful to understand is here in the Philippines, in general, the culture is very conservative, like the religion. Majority is Roman Catholic. In general, again, the culture is more conservative. So I understand for some people the topic in itself may be hard to talk about. People tend to be judgmental, and when it comes to this topic, it's taboo, right, for a lot of people. So this part where she said she called you a sex addict, this refers to my ex, and this is back in high school and then throughout college. So again, I was a teenager, young adult. So you to be fair, I just take this as feedback. So in hindsight, as I look at it and learn from it, the sex drive of a girl or like my ex back then, maybe it really was lower. It could be for some people it's similar, it matches. So back then you could do it every day, almost every other day. Some people even multiple times in a day. I say this without judgment. So sometimes the girl sex drive is even higher than the guy. In my case, it was me, the guy who had a higher sex drive. So the question is, how did I deal with it? So my answer is the best that I could. And there was like a mismatch in that case. And then sometimes you handle it on your own, which is hard, I get, for other people. But when you do have a partner who could help you, it's a big help. Did it go away? My answer is no. So to this day, it's the year 2025. I'm 38 years old already. It didn't go away. I would say the drive is a little less. It's not as crazy, as intense or wild as it was when I was a teenager. Um, so it didn't stop. It didn't go away. How did you stop it? It didn't. Or is it the secret you're taking to your grave? So one reason why I'm so open about this is just from my personal experience. When you keep it as a secret, like these taboo topics, the worse it becomes. It's like hiding it or sweeping it under the rug. It piles up, it festers, it gets worse, and then it blows up one day. So it's like that stereotypical, like, again, Philippine culture, let's say the priests, right? So they deny it, they don't admit it, their sexual desires, and then it gets worse. It manifests in an ugly way. It ends up, next thing you know, you hear a priest molesting an underage boy or something like that. So for me, that's right, meaning gas-gas na yun. It already happened, it has happened, and it'll keep happening if it's not handled in a constructive or healthy way. So, and then the recent passing of Pope Francis, I love how he did not judge like gay priests and all like that, because this is why I'm doing this. When a person reaches out openly, that actually heals the person more. When the person suppresses it or represses it, it actually gets worse. It manifests into something, um, dysfunctional, or worse. So next, let's go. I'm asking because I'm kind of going through it right now and would like some knowledge on how to control this better. So, very quick, some tips I could share on this is, uh, over the years, I went through personal development, self development seminars, met mentors, alternative healing methods. So, the topic is sex. And what I've found is there's this term. So, you can transmute that energy. I mean, there's a book even, Napoleon Hill, like Think and Grow Rich. The term was sex transmutation. So you can transmute that very powerful energy. And if it's not channeled in a healthy, constructive way, it can go haywire, right? It can go destructive. So sex transmutation or energy, like when you transmute it, is put it somewhere healthy or constructive. Some people they go to the gym, some people they go running or taking a walk. I'm about to take a around a 2 hour, 10 kilometer walk in a bit. It's 5 a.m. I'll do that around 6 a.m. It's not too hot. So some people, like this person who I was talking with, she told me Lego saved her life. So it helped me understand perspective. It's something that's she was very passionate about, and it's something she could dedicate, and it took her out of a dark place. For me back then, it was guns, it was motorcycles, For others, it could be video games. And I mean that in a healthy or constructive way. I don't mean that in like an addiction type or destructive type. So you could channel all your energy into something constructive. For some, it's work. For some, it's earning money, again, in a healthy way. It's their passions. Transmute that energy into something healthy or constructive. So the last part here, weird, I know. Pota, I'm like cringing at myself for even bringing this up with you. Sorry if this message is super awkward. So for me, it's not. Again, as I shared or explained, I understand it can feel awkward or very hard to talk about these topics, and it's very easy to be judged by people. But for me, I believe, and from hard experience, I know deep down inside it's healthier to speak your truth, to be able to talk about this. So this is why I'm doing this. So this is what I shared so far. I actually replied via audio messages, and I'm just recapping it. So the reply I got was, okay, super great advice. Thanks for taking the time, Martin. I really appreciate it. So like I do have a partner, but we're long distance. Haha, he helps me emotionally, but so there's that, but the physical part not really. Are you like talking about a trusted fuck buddy? So one thing I asked here also on how to transmute or how to handle it is I would ask the person first, if we do one-on-one or a more personal approach to this is what's your situation? So how number one is how are you handling it on your own? Because some handle it well. And then if you're not, well, two is do you have a partner or do you have someone who could help you with it? So this is why this response was here. And then some people, they're still not getting it. So I responded to this. This is my last messages towards here, down here. So my response was, that's good. So you're getting your emotional needs met, which is important. So why am I saying this? You can search in the Real Talk Lifeline channel, the YouTube channel, that there's this video called Human Needs. So it's not just purely physical needs that are met. So emotional could be connection, it could mean love. I don't necessarily just mean like romantic or people here in the Philippines have that stereotypical codependent mushy definition of love. But I believe that there are different forms or deeper levels of love, even with strangers or like a very close person, someone you don't see that often, for example. So you could check that out, Human Needs. It's a video that goes deeper into that. So it's good that your emotional needs are met. Now, the next part on the partner, yeah. So you can call that a trusted fuck buddy. You could call that someone who gets it, someone who is willing. There's chemistry, or maybe there's not, but it built over time, for example. So, why? This is for people whose love language is physical touch, or part of it, or part of your priorities, your needs, is sex. So, I highly recommend to do it responsibly. Not just the health part, not just because so you don't get sick, you don't get an STD like that, or it's also, let's say, for the woman's side, she could get pregnant, it could affect her seriously. you know for the women, they can die, right? Like they have miscarriage or complications, etc. So it's not just the health part. I mean, do it responsibly with consent. So both people are willing, mature individuals who agree. So here in the Philippines, a lot there's like this culture where it's pilitan, meaning it's like they'll just do it even though they didn't really want to do it. So I'm against that. So if you don't feel right, about it, don't do it, right? The next part is understanding. So again, this is why I'm doing this live with you guys. It's to understand the girl's side, but this girl reached out, and maybe you can understand the guy's side now also. Next, maturity. So a lot of the problems I see when it comes to the topic of sex, relationships, again, it doesn't have to be romantic necessarily. Some do it committed at a time, some are more open, but it's best handled when there's a level of maturity, when we can talk openly about it, learn from each other's experiences. There's no blame, there's no judgment, there's no destructive finger pointing or you know that bullshit like that. So maturity answers it all in my experience. Next is dignity. So you're not just using each other, right? And deep down inside you'll feel it also when the person is being treated with dignity. And I take that seriously because just like things I got into, I talk about doing this responsibly. Some people who don't think about that, I got into guns, right? So let's say if you don't know what you're doing with a gun, are there consequences? Just because I don't know how to handle it. Yeah. So someone can get shot, accident, you could kill someone, you could accidentally shoot your own face. I got into motorcycles in 2014. So if you don't understand it, you can hurt yourself, you could crash, right? You can break your leg, get paralyzed, you could die, right? So I learned that women aren't that different. If you don't treat a person right, in the woman's case, if you don't treat a guy right, the guy doesn't treat the girl right, you can damage the other person. It could cause trauma, not necessarily physical, it could be emotional, anxiety, depression. The other person can like hate the world because of, actions that were done, no understanding. It can lead to long-term effects. It could lead to suicide for cases of like where a girl was raped like that. A guy who, for example, was uh, a really bad heartbreak. And I'm not just talking about in my experience. It could be a guy who was married or had kids. The wife takes his life away, right? Not just half his money or the marriage that he built with them, the life, but she takes the kids. So the tendency is a guy could commit suicide or he's just already deeply dead on the inside from that point. So that's what I mean by dignity. So there's a better way to handle it responsibly. Lastly, win-win. So I learned that from a mentor: win-win or no deal at all. Only do it if it's win-win. Now, on a transactional level, it's easy to see that. It's like, is the girl getting something out of it? Is the guy getting something out of it? I don't just mean physically, right? It could be companionship. It could be it massively regulates their emotions, their hormones or something. They're more stable, they're more relaxed, they're less stressed, helps them get through the day better, like that. And that's still very surface level transactional. On a deeper level, win-win is, are you making each other's lives better, right? Is that person becoming a better version of themselves because of you? And then are you also becoming better because of that? It's not decadent, it's not making you degenerative, a worse version, right? It's not making you lazy, lost, an addict, making you lose money, wrecking your life. So win-win is the opposite. Win-win means spiritually even or on a higher purpose. It makes you a better person on not just a physical, mental, emotional level, but as they say here in the Philippines, it's like it's leading you towards God or heaven or a higher purpose, right? So that's win-win. So the ending of this here down is also I understand this. This is the flip side. There are people whose priorities or whose priority is something else. So, sex or physical touch isn't an issue for them. People who are sapiosexual, for example, these are ones who people who crave more of intellectual stimulation and not physical sex. There are people who are called asexual. So this is people where sex is just not a priority to them. They don't feel it. They don't feel the urges. They don't feel the need for it. Or there are people whose top core needs and priorities are just something else. So maybe that's what happened in my case also with my ex. Sex wasn't the top priority for her. And again, hard for me to understand and take given my reality. But that's the reality or the truth of it, her side. So maybe there were other things that just was more of a priority or that she felt, and that wasn't it. So it didn't align. So learn to understand that as well. So it's easier to handle the topic of sex when it's not um like that for you, right? Now this video is for people who are asking about it, where sex is something that it's a part of you, even though you want to try to delete it or sorry, or not feel it, it's always there. It's like a basic instinct human need. And the best thing I learned is to handle it in a healthy and constructive way. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And oops. And then let's end this video with this. So why did I do this? This is more of I'm putting this out there so we can all learn from this. It might turn into an FAQ, a frequently asked question. So I'm putting this out there. Thank you also for that person who reached out, because it was very hard, very personal to even ask the question about it. And I understand. So it's also very hard for me to put myself on the line and share my life, my personal experience about it, because it can easily, if I overthink it, affect my reputation, you know, be the target of judgment. You have to face your family. What if my mom, what if my family, they see this video? What are they going to think of me? Are they going to disown me? Are they going to treat me differently? So if you feel that, I get it. I feel it too. You're not alone. But I'm doing it anyway. Why? Because if you got anything good out of it, you felt something, a lightness. You felt liberated. You felt the truth, right? There's a higher purpose, right? Something that was really worth it. I can actually speak my truth. You too. You get it? I'm also going through that. Then it was worth doing this. And this is what I do in Real Talk Lifeline. So if any of you have the courage to actually join and go on a live with me and speak your truth, it can be about any topic. Again, I talk about not just relationships, sex, even, right? Those topics that people normally don't talk about. It could be about money, right? Wealth. And a lot of people don't talk about that, even in my family. It can be talking about your health. When I say health, I don't just mean like fitness, getting abs like that. Maybe you have different health goals or health situations that you're like, what if you're a skinny guy and then people don't understand your situation? You're actually trying to gain weight. Most of the world wants to lose weight. They're so addicted on just trying to lose weight. But your problem is your challenge is the opposite. You're trying to gain weight because you were skinny and fat, like you had a belly, and then you were bullied growing up. Or lastly, it can be about purpose, a deeper topic in life. Maybe you feel lost, right? Um, you're living in quiet desperation, right? You feel like you cannot even share with people your truth, your reality. You have to pretend and put on a fake smile, and people have no idea what you're going through. So you could talk about that. Now, lastly, if you don't want to go live and put yourself out there with me, you can comment clarity call down below. If you prefer one on one, I do coaching. And this is for people who have that question: what is your biggest challenge in life right now that you feel stuck with? So I'll reach out to you, just send me a message, comment clarity call, and then we can break through that together to help you get unstuck in life. So thank you. I love you, and I will see you next time.